Okay, ladies, many of you can and probably have changed a tire, but do you know how to make sure that they are properly inflated? I have to say, not always. I'm guilty. Doug Wilson is the owner of American Tire and Service in Rio Rancho, and we asked him to come in and educate us about, you guessed it, tires. Why not? And of course, this is where the rubber meets the road, pal. And I can't speak for anybody, okay, but I have a lot to learn. I do, personally. So first of all, welcome back. It is
Thank
great
you, Nikki,
to see
for having me. That's great.
I think this is very useful information for so many people. And, you know, first of all, I think anybody can tell us that gas prices are
Going
ridiculous.
right up through the roof, exactly, yes.
Through the roof. And we're going to talk a little later in our segment about some of the ways you can conserve on gas in general.
Exactly, right.
But first, let's talk about the fact that sometimes the pressure of your tire can actually affect the gas that you're using, can't it?
It definitely can. Air pressure can affect the tire, the mileage that you have on your gasoline mileage by 3%.
By 3%?
By 3%. So it's very important to make sure that your air pressure is correct in your tires. There's a reading on the side of your door.
Okay.
If you open it up, that tells you exactly what kind of air pressure you're supposed to be putting in the tires.
So you know for your car what
for your car what exact pressure that tire should be having.
Okay.
So that you'll get the best amount of performance, tire wear, and mileage.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cars now that have those tire pressure monitoring sensors, which help you to kind of warn you. Yes.
Well, that's what's been happening to me. Not in my new car, but my last car I had, it would show up, and I could see when the weather would change, especially, I would see that my tire pressure was low, and I would go outside and look, but I can't tell just by my eyes. I can't. Right. I need the gauge, but I don't know how to use it properly.
Well, let me show you that.
Okay, good.
Okay?
That would be awesome.
This is on this tire we brought on the set. The air pressure valve stem.
Okay.
Is let me get the cap off.
I'm going to lean in. I'm just going to lean in over here and see.
Just need to take the cap off.
Okay.
Now, you're going to have obviously different types of caps. There's chrome valve stems, there's metal valve stems, but you just have to get that off.
So just take that off.
And then these you can purchase at any economical parts store. They're not very expensive.
Okay.
And you just need to put that on the valve stem.
Okay.
Now, if you look, a little reader, the gauge comes out.
Yes.
And it shows you how much air pressure. This one is a spare, so it has a lot of air in it. It's got 60 pounds of air pressure.
Where do you see 60?
Up here on the back, there's different readings. You can see the different readings on here.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you need to look at what your car takes.
Okay.
Find out where that location is.
Got it.
And then when you put this on the tire,
It'll pop out to that spot?
It pops up to that spot.
Ah,
okay?
Got it. Okay.
Now,
I feel so ignorant that I didn't know this before, but this was what I've been wanting to know.
Well, and this is for you, so that you can keep an eye on your tires from now on.
For me?
For you.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Okay, well, let me ask you a question, because I just mentioned that weather that has affected when it's either too hot or too cold.
Right.
How does that work?
The temperature outside changes. Okay. Obviously, if it's summertime, you might have 90-degree weather. In the wintertime, it might be 30 degrees.
Okay.
Every 10 degrees of air pressure, or 10 degrees of weather that goes down, your air pressure in your tire goes down a pound.
Oh.
So if you've changed the air pressure or the temperature outside 5 degrees, you've lost 5 pounds in your tire.
Wow, that explains so much.
So 50 degrees,
I feel like I just woke up. I mean, I did not know. These are the things I've been wanting to know. This is so helpful. And, you know, we were talking, of course, about the gas prices. So, you know, by keeping your tires, you know, with the right amount of pressure.
Very important, right.
That's one way to save. But what else can we do to save gas? In fact, let's do some of the do's and the don'ts.
Okay, on driving, when you have weight in your car, that affects the mileage that you have on there. If you go out and you get potting soil and you put it in the trunk of your car, don't drive around for a week with it in there. That does affect your gas mileage.
Okay, okay.
When you're taking and going to a parking area, don't drive. My kids say, well, we're looking for rock star parking.
Right.
Just park the car someplace.
Just park it.
And walk. It's probably better exercise for you anyway, so just
That's a
walk
great tip.
Right.
It's a great tip. Now, I also noticed that you also want to do the speed limit. I mean, aside from getting a ticket, why is that so important?
Well, aggressive driving is always bad. So it's not only bad for the ticket, but if you're running to stop signs, you're accelerating, you're using more gas, and you're going to slam on the brakes.
Good
so
point.
where's out your brakes?
Good point.
So you really want to take and be a little bit more aware of your surroundings and what your speed limits are.
Very
You don't
good
want to
point.
put a lot of weight on top of the car. If you have a luggage rack, that takes and affects it.
I think, and especially here in New Mexico, so many people travel, so many people do so many outdoor sports, and they're loading up the top of their car. Great tip.
Air conditioning. I know it's hot here in New Mexico when we run our air conditioner, but that draws energy off the engine, which causes more gas consumption. So you're much better off if you can not run your air conditioning in the morning when it's cool. If you have to run it sparingly.
Okay, and real quick before we go, I want to also ask you another question that's very important. You mentioned just a couple real quick tips on also saving with gas prices when you go to get your gasoline.
There's a perception that when the holiday time comes, that gas prices are going to go up. That's pretty true. So you want to get your gas 3 or 4 days before the holiday.
Okay.
Statistically, Wednesdays are the cheapest time to get gas.
Wednesday. Get your gas on Wednesdays.
Wednesday morning.
Great
Join
tip.
one of those membership clubs. Their gas is always a little bit less expensive.
And you also mentioned when it's cooler.
When it's cooler, the density of the gas, you'll get more gas.
Perfect.
So you're better off if you can fill up in the morning when it's cool.
Great information.
So keep your gas cap type. That also affects it. And if your check engine light comes on, you need to have that looked at.
I love it. And of course, we can find you at American Tire and Service, and all that information is at the bottom of our screen. Doug, thank you so much. This has been a great education for me.
Thank you, Nikki,
and I'm sure many of our viewers too.
Thank you.
You're the greatest.
Thank
you so much. And coming up next, is it a glass of pure health or is it just pure hell? I don't know. After the break, we're following a Detroit Fox team's juice cleanse.